Thank you very much. Can you hear me well? All right. So this is my great honor to talk, to give a talk in the Innovation Festival week in Oslo. Actually, this is the first time to be in Norway. And today's talk is about the human-like AI robot and our future life. So actually, as you know, I'm creating this very human-like robot. But this is the another important robot for me. So I'm going to try to convince you the why that this is so important for me, right? Actually, I'm starting my robot study with this one, but finally I reached to this one. Okay, and then we may have a more simpler robot, but that is just a rough story of today's rough story. Well, anyway, so I'm a professor of Oslo University, and I also the director of ATR Hiroshi Ishiguro Laboratories. I'm gonna introduce the many robots from to these two research institutes in Japan. So I think the people you saw this robot in the lobby, right? And actually, this is a very portable one, right? Well, today I'm here, right? Because I wanted to be here because this is the first time. But for other countries, sometimes I don't like to go there. But then, I just send this robot. Okay, this is a very convenient, right? My young staff, will bring this robot as a check-in baggage and a carry-on. So head is very fragile. This is very important. Therefore, this is a carry-ons. Okay, but the body is upper torso and the lower torso. These are check-in baggage, and then we assemble the robot on site, and then the robot will automatically give a talk. But the question is should be interactive, right? I'm operating a robot through the internet, right? So this is a very convenient. So now that you are interested in what kind of things happens in the bags, right? So actually, this is inside of a bag. So the question is how we can pass the security gate in an airport, right? So with the head, right, human head. This is so this was happened for the first time was 4 or 5 years ago, right? We are very nervous to pass the securities with this head, right? And actually, when I was watching the X-ray monitors, I could see the human face there, the head there. But the good things was everybody knew my robots because we have appeared many times in Discovery channels, BBCs. Okay, now we don't need to care about it, right? So anyway, so this is a very convenient. So if you are a very busy guy, I strongly recommend you create your own copies and send it to the foreign countries, or you can send the robot to your house, right, or office, right? Then this is much better than the car. So no traffic accident, very safe, right? You don't need to hire the security people, right? So if this one is broken, right, you just buy a new one, okay? So I think this is the futures. Then we're gonna have a robot societies. What is a robot society? I think this is probably we're gonna have this kind of the societies where we're gonna use many human-like robots, humanoids and androids. And this is my imaginations. Maybe very near future in Japan, in the railway stations, that these robots will help you, the foreigners especially, right? And the Japanese, probably the Japanese is very kind for the foreigners, but unfortunately we cannot speak in English, right? They are not so good, right? And therefore, the robot will support you. So, and in order to realize this kind of a robot society, I have started the human-robot interaction studies. Before my study, in robotics, the researchers just focus on the navigation and manipulation. They are for the industrial robots, right? But around the 2000, I have started the studies on the human-robot interaction, more human-friendly robots, with the researchers from the United States and Europe, right? and establish the research area of human-robot interactions. And at the same time, I have created this very mechanical-looking robot, and then this is a commercial product from my venture companies. And these are robots. These are robot. This is not robot. Okay, this is not robot. So why we wanna use these very human-like robot? The reason is quite simple. So. The reason is human has brains that recognize humans. We have many, many functions in our brain to recognize humans. Therefore, the best interface for the human is human. Okay, so this is a very simple reason. Okay, for example, in Japan, we are using many electric stuff like a rice cooker and a refrigerator and microwaves. So the funny thing is that they are speaking. They are, they are using a voice command, voice interface, right? Can you imagine that? So they are not Alice Wonderland, okay? So, but for example, rice cooker will say, just wait 5 minutes, then rice will be ready or something like that. Okay, so but when I was I talked with my friend in a companies maybe 10 years ago, and the display for the rice cooker and the microwave is so small, and sometimes it's very difficult to understand the meaning of the figures. When we see the figure of 5, right? What does it mean? It's 5 minutes before preparing the rice, or just 5 o'clock or something, okay? So, and then I just proposed to use a voice interface, right? But at the time, the company people, they rejected my offers because they said, well, if the rice cooker said something with my previous girlfriend's voice, that caused a serious problem, right? But today, everybody is, we are using that kind of interface. So naturally, we just accept the more human-like interface, okay? So everything is going to be more human-like. So when we think about our histories of technology development, always we are replacing the human ability with machines, okay? So what's the meaning of a technology development is to replace the human ability with the machines and extend the human ability more and more, right? So if we want, we can talk to somebody's in foreign countries by using a cell phone. So it's an extreme abilities of a human, right? It's a kind of a telepathy. Yeah. But so anyway, so I really think that we never stop technology development because that is a difference between human and animals, right? So definition of a human is animal plus technologies, tools, technologies, and robots, right? So and then probably we try to understand what human is by creating, developing new technologies, okay? And then we are trying to see what is the last part of the humans. So anyway, I think that we're gonna have a robot society soon, but we are missing one more thing. That is a personal robot. When we had this information society, the computer societies, so we had the personal computers, right? Originally computer was so expensive, and when I was a student, I was using the computer in a university. The price of a computer was more than €1 million, right? But now, everybody can easily use the cheap but very reliable computers. Okay, so we need to have a personal robot for realizing a robot society. So this is a very popular robot in Japan now, called Peppers. So this robot has almost all possible functions. Okay, but size is like this, right? And this robot has voice recognition functions and the face recognitions and the omnidirectional mobile platform, the very reliable motors, right? Many sensors, and then could you turn on the voice? I think you know how to turn on the voice. Yes. I have a venture company. Okay, probably that you don't understand Japanese, right? Sorry, that, but in 5 years, within 5 years, I think we can realize this kind of personal robot. So now, my company is seriously developing this robot, and the price of this one is less than, let me see, less than €1,000, maybe about around the 600 or 700 euro, and this is a little bit more expensive, right? But how we can use this one? Probably, the voice, the language training. So that is one of the best application of this interactive robot. See, well, especially in Japan, we are studying the English 9 years, but the student cannot speak because we don't have conversational partners. But the robot can be a conversational partners, and the Japanese, we are very shy to talk to the somebody, right? But this is good, right? But the same things happen for you, I think, right? This is a good training partners. You can iterate so many the same sentences as long as you want. Right? So anyway, if we, once, well, maybe the students and children accept this kind of a conversational robots, so they're gonna use for their for running the language and then maybe they're playing some games, and then well, we for other adults. Is going to use this similar robot in the public places and department store and the stations and maybe, well, in elderly care houses. So that I think that this is our features. And maybe within, well, I'm not sure, but maybe, the personal computers or smartphone, they quickly spread out in this world. Especially for the smartphone, it was just a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, right? And the smartphone completely changes our lifestyle. So we may have the same things with the personal robots. That is a possibility. Okay. So, but in order to realize this kind of robot societies, in the universities, we need to seriously study about the human-like robots, right? I want to explain what I'm doing in my lab. So actually, my purpose is to understand the human itself by creating these robots. Okay. So usually we consider the knowledge about the human is coming from neuroscience and cognitive science, that kind of human sciences. However, they do not have enough knowledge for creating a very human-like robot. So what I'm doing is, I'm just developing a very human-like robot based on the knowledge from neuroscience, cognitive science, and engineering methodologies, right? So if we want to, we can just create this robot. So by gathering the many kinds of knowledge, and then, so if we could have, the robot became very human-like, then we can verify some hypotheses in neuroscience and cognitive science by using this robot as a test bed, right? So, and then we are trying to understand what is the importance of a human-like appearance and human-like movement, human-like perceptions. So human-likeness, that is the key issues in my lab, right? And we call this kind of approach is a constructive approach. Just create a very human-like robot. Then we're going to use that robot for understanding human itself. Okay, so that is what I'm doing. And around the 2000, I have developed this interactive robot. This is a fully autonomous robot. And my daughter, at the time my daughter was 4 years old, she could play with this robot more than 2 hours, right? Then, well, and we were looking for some practical application with this robot, and then this, the 4 robots are, talking with the visitors in a shopping mall and guiding people. Then, I found the big issues. That is a human-like appearance. What is the best design for the robot that interact with people, right? Do we need to put more, human-like appearance, or the robot can have just a mechanical-looking appearance? So in order to answer that questions, I have decided to start the Android project, very human-like robot project. So this is my daughter's copy. No, this is my first Android. But at that time, I didn't have enough budget, right? Therefore, I couldn't install the actuators on the bodies. And therefore, that this robot was so scary. I mean, they look at the, this is the nodding, right? But, the body is also the vibrating. So this looks very human-like, but movement is not human-like. It's jerky, right? And it looks like a moving corpse or a zombie, right? But after that, of course, I could improve the internal mechanism. So this is, I have exhibited this robot in a World Expo in Nagoya, 2004. And here, as you can see here, the robot is not uncanny anymore. Right, not creepy, right? So this was so human-like, and then I got a pretty good reputation in the world with the very human-like robots. So in addition to that, well, what I did is I have implemented the subconscious movement and the reactive movement. Okay, so my approach was quite engineering approach. So I have carefully measured the person's movement while sitting. So now you are sitting, but you never stop. Your heads are moving and the bodies are moving slightly. So by using a very precise motion capturing system, I have carefully measured and replayed on Android. So this was a kind of random replay. Still, the Android became very human-like. But my friend in a medical school, he said, that this is very human-like, but unfortunately, this is the brain-damaged person. Okay, so something missing, right? So actually, the computer program we have developed is not identical to the human brain process, right? So what we have to do here is we need to work with neuroscientists, and we need to implement the more human-like controllers, right, by studying the brain, so how the brain controls the bodies. So that is what we are doing now. So in order to improve the robot performance, we need to study the neuroscience. The same things happen here. So in order to develop the very sensitive human-like skins, I spent a lot of money. It was around the 2 million euro, right, just for creating a very human-like skin. But thanks to that, human-like skin, Android could have this kind of reactive movement, reaction. But however, this is also strange. So can you find what strange is this? If we tap the shoulder so many times, usually we get angry, but Android never get angry, right? So Android missing, the human-like mental states. So how we can implement the human-like mental states to the Android? So if we work with psychologists, so they have some hypothesis about that, then that we can, by using this robot and Android, we can verify their hypothesis. So the robotics are tightly coupled with cognitive science and neuroscience. So engineering is, so in order to develop much better robots, so we need to work with the human science. So that is what I'm doing now in my lab. But of course, once we create a very human-like robot, so we can find some practical application of robots in Androids. So let me introduce several of the practical application of my Android. So this is the Android of a very famous person in Japan. He's a national treasure. He's the comic storyteller. The rakugo player. Rakugo is a very important culture, the comic storytelling. But unfortunately, he passed away. But don't worry, we have Android, right? So we can enjoy his professional play, okay, with Android. Then, that we have a question, what is the human presence? Okay, so actually, he is more popular than him, okay? And especially for the young people, so this is a totally different from videos, the TVs. Okay, so the people can feel his presence like this. Okay, he's talking like this. Okay, it's quite realistic, right? If we have some distance like 5 meters and 7 meters, it's quite difficult to distinguish which is which, right? So that means he could have a kind of eternal life, I guess, right? Because the people can still enjoy his professional work, and he's getting more famous. And this is another idea to the practical application of my robot and Android. And this is the show windows displays, right? Originally the mannequin in the show window was a very human-like, but there was this very beautiful Android, and this, as you can see here, Android has emotional expressions. So we have carefully implemented the complicated human mental states. Right, and the Android also using some cameras, and Android is carefully watching visitors and changing the mental states. So this one was also very popular in Japan. So look at here, the Android is holding smartphones. I play the tweeters instead of her because unfortunately he cannot move the fingers, right? But within 2 weeks, so she could have 1,200 followers, right? And 10 people said, "I love you," right? So I'm always asking to my students, how many followers you have, and how many people said, "I love you" to you, right? So she is much better than my student, I think. And then we went to the Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, she was an idol singer, okay? And the people were crazy for this Android. So still, today you can download the many footage there, about this Android. So with the keyword of Geminold and Hong Kong, right? Then so we have another question: what is the beauty? What is the ideal idol singers, right? The ideal idol singers probably never get tired, always smiling. Always singing the beautiful songs and never go to the toilet, okay? She never go to the toilet, all right? So, we cannot have imagination. The beautiful idol singer go to the toilet. We never have that kind of the imagination, right? So what is the beauty, the human beauties, So I think, just the Android can, they can be a really beautiful humans, okay? So the another application is the Android theaters. This Android theater is very popular in Europe, especially in the France and Germany, and this was very popular. So far, we considered, the theater should be played by a human actor or actress, but sometimes, the Android is much better than the human actress. So that this is Android, this is not Android, this is human, okay, right? And then, when we played these theaters in Paris and Australia, the audience, everybody said that she was so human-like, and everybody could feel the human-like heart by watching these theaters. What is the heart? What is the mind? Okay. So this Android is, the very simple robots. The computer program is quite simple, right? Computer just replay the behaviors and talking, right? And it's quite simple script-based computer program. Still, the people could feel the very human-like heart and mind. So again, my question is, what is the heart and the mind? So important. The point is that once we create this kind of a very beautiful, very human-like robot, Android, we can touch to these philosophical questions. Okay, so nobody knows, what is human-like, what is the heart and the mind, what is the human presence, right? Every day we are using this word, but we don't know the exact meaning of that, right? So. Probably we are doing so many things in order to understand this, the meaning of the word. So these words were very important for us, right? Always we are looking for ourselves. So that is human, I think. So anyway, the Android became now she became very popular in the world. This is the world campaign. This is Nabratura, the very famous tennis players, all right. And my robot Android is also attending to this world campaigns by a very famous bank in the south, in New Zealand and Australia, right? Well. One more example. So now Android is selling the clothes in the shop, the department store. She's also she's pretty good for selling the clothes, right? And the May, she could sell the well, actually the 24 people, 24 shopkeepers working in this department stores. I mean in this floor, and she was a number 6, right, among the 24 people. Much better than the average of people, right? But and why she could sell so many clothes? Actually, this is a fully autonomous system. Unfortunately, the department store is very noisy. Therefore, we cannot use a voice recognition. Therefore, we are using tablet computers. So, tablet computer recommend some questions, and then the visitor pressing the buttons, and the computer speaking instead of visitors and speaking to the Android, and the Android speak back, right? So, actually, we can have a very realistic feeling of conversations, right? Usually we hesitate to talk to the shopkeepers in the department stores. So if we talk to the shopkeepers, that means that we have an intention to buy something, right? But this is the Android. Therefore, people never hesitate to talk to the Android. But once they talk to the Android. Android say many positive things. Oh, you are so beautiful, and this clothes is perfectly matching you. And then people they consider robots never tell a lie, right? When we use the vending machines, we never check the changes, right? But when we buy something in convenience stores, usually we check the changes, right? So we just trust the computers. So probably we can replace the almost all shopkeepers in the department stores with Android in near futures, I think. So far, I have explained about the fully autonomous robots. Then, I'm gonna talk about the teleoperated robots. The robots I'm bringing today. So that is a teleoperated robot. So operator is here, and operator is just talking by watching monitors, and then the robot could talk with our visitors, and as you could try. So this is a very convenient, as I said before already. So that we can have very realistic meetings, right? So we don't have any problems. This is totally different from a TV conference. I can talk like this by using this Android. But the funny thing was, I'm using this Android in a research institute. But the research institute says, if I use this Android for working in the institute, they cannot pay for me, right? Why? It's very strange, right? So my appearance and the movement and the talking, everything's there. Of course, the movement is a little bit, unnatural. But when I have a pain in my bodies, probably my movement will be like this, right? So, but funny things, maybe my brain and the stomach and the organs is not there. But the research institute, it never check if I have my brains and organs, right? So, we have a lot of technology today, but still, the most fundamental things is just believe each other as a human. Okay, it's quite strange things. Anyway, this is another interesting finding with the Android. So, we can give a talk like this. So then the question is, what is the identities, right? So, especially for me, this is very confusing. Why I'm giving a talk here? Because I have created this one. So you are interested in this Android. So you are not interested in myself. All right? This is my research result, and this is very important, right? Okay. So this guy has my identity. I don't have my identities. Right? You understand what I mean, right? Okay, anyway, the teleoperated Android is not just like, wow, the easy, simple robot, but we can really adapt to the Android bodies. Okay, let me show you the more interesting example. And everybody can easily operate this robot because just watch the monitors and talk. Okay, but give me a sound more. And she's operating my robot, and her voice is coming from this robot. And she's asking, please touch to the body. This is not sexual harassment. She's asking me to touch to the bodies, and this is my bodies, right? Once we start the conversation, right? So she can easily accept the Android body as her own body. So that is, the very interesting phenomenon. And of course, we can use a brain-machine interface. By using the brain signal, we can control the Android, and then, Android will be the person can accept Android as own bodies. So if we, this is a very important application for the handicapped people, right? The people who cannot move their body at all, right? That kind of people, handicapped people, can use this Android as the own bodies, right? So that is a very important application in futures. So anyway, there is a very famous Hollywood movie. The title is A Surrogate. This is my movie, it's my story. Okay. In the beginning of this movie, you can see my Android and myself, and then the main story starts. Right. In the near future, everybody gonna use their own Android in the society, and then we're gonna have a perfect life. So please watch this video. Right. This movie, right? It's quite interesting for you, I think. All right. So if we work with this kind of a very human-like robot, so we can find very important fundamental ideas about the human-human interaction, or human-robot interactions. So the question is, how do we recognize the robots and androids? Actually, there are two ways. So when we see the very human-like robots, right? And this is, this person is observing this very human-like robot, and this person knows who is this, right? And usually we have, we have a model to recognize the persons. So if this robot is a very human-like, if a robot has a human-like appearance and the movement and the talking, so we check each modality carefully. Right? If one of the modalities is not human-like, so robot suddenly has we suddenly have a negative feeling, uncanny feeling, right? But if a robot doesn't have enough information as a person, okay? So suppose in this case, that we are using this quite neutral appearance as a humans. So this looks like a humans, but we cannot tell the age and genders. So this robot is quite neutral. But the voice, just the voice is human-like. So by hearing the voice, we can just remember somebody. Then we can mentally project this imagination onto this neutral appearance. So this is the recognitions based on imaginations. So we have two ways: observation. The recognition based on the observation, okay, and the recognition based on the imaginations. If we are missing the information about the persons, we just use the, our imaginations, okay. But important thing is when we use our imagination, we always positive. We never have a negative imagination, okay. If we are a healthy person. So when you are talking to somebody, suppose you don't know that person. Usually, and if you listen to some cute voice, you can have some imagination about the cute women or handsome, smart boys, right? Smart men, right? So the imagination is always positive. So actually, this minimal the appearance of the humans can maximize the imagination of the person. So and here, this elder is talking with this android, this robot, but so this is the same as my android, right? This is a teleoperated android, but the difference is just appearance, okay? And especially the robot, they accepted very well by elderlles, especially elderlles. Actually, I'm running a collaborative project in Denmark, in elderly care houses. They are using this Android. So dementia people, they hate to talk to the people, but they don't hate. They hate to talk to the Android. They actually accept very well. Okay, so because they can use their own imagination. So that is the meaning of this, neutral appearance. So let me show you no exceptions. We are running the field tests in many countries. Denmark, Germany, Australia, Japan, the United States, many countries, okay? So, and this example, right? But this is not really minimal design, minimal measures. So the question is, as a scientist, the more deeper question is, what is the minimal condition to represent human-like presence? So my answer is just two modalities. If we have two modalities, okay, so we can feel the human presence. But in this case, the voice and the tactile sensation, or the appearance of tactile sensation. Okay, so I have, in order to verify this hypothesis, so I have created this simple robot. This is not a robot anymore. This is just a pillow, right? And this is a smartphone holder. By putting the smartphone into this, the pillows, these guys are talking. But the difference is, that they can have a very strong feeling to hold each other. Okay, and actually we did a broad test. That we checked the stress hormones. So by using this, simple robot, we could reduce the cortisol. It's a stress hormone. It works very well, right? They could relax very much. And let me give you some other example. And this is the first year of elementary school. They are missing, their teachers and the parents, and these guys are not hearing the teachers talk, right? And this is because this is the first year of elementary school, right? But these guys are okay. But then we gave that robot that we call the robot Hugbeat. We deliver the Hugbeat for everybody, and we transmit the teacher's voice by using the device, and voice is coming from the Hugbeat. Right? Then we could have this result, right? Everybody could concentrate on the teacher's talk, right? Right. Totally different, right? This works very well. Now we are preparing for the new business in elementary school. Okay, and and everybody can easily concentrate on the teacher's talk. Right? So anyway, so I think I have just 2 minutes. So next step, what I'm doing now. So I'm running the biggest AI project, a robot AI project in Japan. It's called the JST Erato Symbiotic Human-Robot Interaction Project. So here, we are improving our robots in many ways. First, we are developing the much better actuators, more human-like muscles and the mechanical design. Okay, and then while we are studying about the running, the developmental process of humans, and one of the most important challenge here is to implement the behavior, intention, desire to the robot. So far, roboticists and the AI engineers just focus on the behavior network of a robot, right? We didn't carefully consider about the intention and desires. But once we implement the intention and desire to the Android, right, the important thing is the Android, of course, an Android became more human-like, but that's, by hearing the people's utterance and by watching the people's behaviors, the Android can guess the intention and desires of the person, right? Then we can have a more tight relationships with the between the robot and the humans, right? That maybe, sorry, go back. If we share the intentions, that means probably we love each other or something, right? But once we implement the intention desire to the Android, Android can share because Android can understand the human's intention. Okay. So, and let me show you the current AI. It's called Erika. Give me a sound, right? And she, this is fully autonomous. Okay. And she's talking with my student. And so my name is the Erika. And this is also the synthesizer voice. Right? This is fully autonomous. And let's talk something.
Uchida desu.
What is your name? And my student said, my name is Uchida.
Uchida.
Okay. Just say again.
Hai, so desu.
Your name is Uchida? Yes. So your name is Uchida. Well, how about my impression? She's asking.
真っ黒ですね。
My student said, oh, you looks just black. She said. But in the press release, well, we had a press release for this Android. I have introduced that this is the most beautiful Android in the world. So how do you think? But my student, no, you are not so beautiful. But the professor proves how beautiful is this face. But still, you think I'm not beautiful? And my student said, no, I don't like to talk to you anymore, she said. She has just two desires, right? She wanna have a rest, and she want to be well recognized by the other people. But this is just the starting point. We have spent just 6 months, but the project is 5 years. Right? We can improve more and more. But the most important thing is that this is a fully autonomous thing. Then, the near future, I think we're going to have more better relationships between the human and the robots and in the robot societies. Thank you very much.